All right, we are now going to hydropower. And this is not new. We've all been to those old mills with the waterfall turning the wheel. But I guess we've had some advances since then. Uh, so using falling or flowing water to produce energies, and humans have used them for centuries. Hydroelectric power produces about 6% of US electricity. Typically, a stream is dammed and then discharge is regulated to produce electricity. So they want to keep that flow constant. Hydropower is clean and not polluting. However, it can be bad for the ecosystem. It changes both upstream and downstream of the dam. We've already talked about this. Um, and usually in a negative way, especially downstream. Um, so here's a graph of renewable energy, showing that it is 12% of our energy supply. Um, and it's different than the one we looked at with the first lecture because they're not calling nuclear renewable. Well, because it's not. All right. And so then what counts as renewable? We have geothermal, solar, hydroelectric, wind, and then biomass. Limitations to hydropower development. Reservoirs tend to silt up, meaning they fill up with silt and other gunk. Um, the water can evaporate, although they are doing things to combat that. These little like floating black balls and things to reduce evaporation rates. They destroy habitats both upstream and downstream. They encourage earthquakes because you're changing the weight in the crust. These wouldn't be like very deep-seated earthquakes. Just very crustal ones, kind of like the ones associated with fracking. And they are extremely expensive to build, and you can't move them, obviously. Another way to harness water energy is to take advantage of the energy in the ocean. So we can take advantage of the tides. Here's a picture of a tidal turbine. So as the tides come in and out, it's turning. I don't even know what you call these, the propellers, I suppose. Um, However, there's limited energy production possible. Like you can't really do anything to increase the tide energy. It is what it is. Um, Not enough difference in high tide versus low tide displacement. You only get 1 meter difference. And to be most economical, you need about 5 meters difference. So that could just depend on some topography too of the ocean floor and the coastline. Um, Ocean thermal energy conversion, OTEC, it's clean and renewable, and this takes advantage of the temperature difference between warm water on the top and colder waters at deeper depths. And here's a map showing where that temperature difference is greater. It's right along the equator. So we would, target this area on the map for that. And next is wind energy.